2013, the President Xi Jinping, but it was in existence for many centuries. It is the same Silk Route, both land and silk, had been used by Fahian, the Buddhist monk. He has used the land route to reach India and Sri Lanka, returned through maritime Silk Route. He came by boats. So it is the same thing. During that period onward, then even the Senghe navigator, you are pronouncing it differently, who visited Sri Lanka 7 times with his ships at the beginning of the 15th century, 1405 to 1430, up to during that period. He has gone 7 times. Some say he has visited minimum 5 times in Sri Lanka, but say all 7 times he went to Sri Lanka. He has erected a stone inscription in 3 languages. One of the Sri Lankan language, the Chinese language, and the Persian language. Even there, he is mentioning about historical places, historical religious places. He is offering many things to, of course, we had Hindu gods, we had Buddhism both, Hinduism and Buddhism both were practiced in Sri Lanka even at that time, even now it is the same. He has offered, he has mentioned in the stone inscription. So historically also, this religious has played a very important role. But anyhow, what I want to tell, even he would have religious purposes, friendly purposes would have been there, but religious has played very important role in the historical maritime Silk Route. Similarly, trade was in addition to, because even now, if we want to continue or maintain the Buddhist centers of painting, you need the revenue and the expenditure. So it has to be supplemented by economic cooperation. Economic cooperation means maybe investment, trade, tourism, all these things have to be followed. Because otherwise, religious itself cannot sustain in isolation. Even religious places has to be maintained. Those who are looking after the place has to be paid. Therefore, this present maritime Silk Route to be a success, maybe we would be able to establish a relation between religious places, but it must be similarly, simultaneously or parallelly, there must be a trade and investment and tourism must go in hand. Then you will be able to sustain this maritime Silk Route and other land route. So even of course Chinese government and Chinese leadership has understood now both the road and belt initiative involve many economic activities, even railroads going up to Europe. There are many reasons for that, not only single reason. That depend on the age and values of different tourists. In case of Chinese tourists, about nearly 275,000 Chinese tourists visited Sri Lanka in the year 2016. We expect this figure to exceed 300,000 this year. Among the most popular destination for Chinese tourists is one of the places, the historical sites, particularly UNESCO cultural sites, and where they can see the paintings and other important Buddhist sacred items, the stupas, holy tree and many things. But it is very true that at least 1/3 of tourists who would visit Sri Lanka visit with the intention of visiting Buddhist and historical centers, because Sri Lanka was known to Chinese public as a Buddhist country. historical relation between two countries with regard to Buddhism is well recorded, well known to everyone. Therefore, these Buddhist centers of historical importance and sacred nature has attracted many Chinese tourists to Sri Lanka. If you want to see very historical, say, more than 1,000 years old, there are some places, but those are, with the time it's very difficult to preserve. But still some places, in a place called Mahiyangana, even that is about from Colombo, is nearly 200 kilometers of east of Colombo. What we believe is Lord Buddha himself visited into that place. His first visit was to a place called Mahiyangana. In that place, after he left, a Buddhist pagoda, stupa, had been built. At that time, this, as mentioned, this the god name by the name of Samadhi, and that has been kept in about, say, 30-40 meters above from the earth as the stupa, and in that chamber where this relics has been kept had been done few paintings. Those paintings are still remaining. Then I mentioned about the Sigiriya, the UNESCO cultural site, where these people see the frescoes, the ladies or the beauties who are taking flowers to the Buddhist temple. That has been done in the 5th century AD, that means almost 1,500 years ago. Then there's another nearby temple. There in that temple place called Nambul again is a UNESCO cultural site. Some of the paintings are very old, and again during same period. Some of the paintings had been done late years, about 400-500 years ago. Then when you come to even southern part of Sri Lanka, there are many temples with the paintings, which is as old as about 400, 500, 300 years ago. Then there are another temple very close to city of Colombo known as Kalnia. There's a historical site again. It's a place Lord Buddha has visited. But of course those original Buddhist shrines and paintings and others were destroyed by Portuguese. But in the beginning of the 20th century, that means more than 100 years ago, it has been rebuilt. And the paintings were done. Those paintings are nearly 70 to 80 years old. There are so many. There are a number of Buddhist paintings in most part of Sri Lanka. Of course, some are very historical. Some are we call modern period, which was done about 300-400 years ago, and other paintings during the last 100 years. So, for any Buddhist, Buddhist who would like to see Buddhist paintings and Buddhist murals and statues, some people have done some publication, but unfortunately we do not have it here. To have a publication on Buddhist paintings alone. There are so many statues and tattoos. As a place called again Anuradhapura is one of the Buddhist statues known as Samadhi statue. Politicians of India, the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, he has mentioned in even his, so I don't know where it has been mentioned in autobiography somewhere, that the best statue he has seen. Some of those had been really carved out from a rock. The two things are very clearly, two things are very similar. One is the painting, another one is the statues. Recently I visited this house, a mountain in Sichuan province. Very important similarity I noticed was that even in Sri Lanka, the vehicle of this god Saman is a white elephant. Even here in Sichuan province, Only difference is the Sri Lankan white elephant has only 2 tusks, but in Sichuan province, that elephant has 6 tusks, 3 in each side. So there are many similarities. I haven't been to many places in many Buddhist temples in Yunnan province, but in that part of China, they believe or they worship Theravada Buddhism, as in Thailand and as in Myanmar. But when you come to eastern part of China or northern part of China, it is we call it Mahayana Buddhism. But this is the same Buddhism. Same Sakyamuni Buddha is considered as the most important among the figures or the teachers in Buddhism. But in addition to that, even in Sri Lanka, we do not consider others as Buddhas, as I mentioned, Maitri Buddha to be, and even some quote someone like that. But there are a number of similarities. Here in China, Buddhism is known as Buddhism came to here from India. It is true. Lord Buddha or the Sakyamuni Buddha was born in a place called Lumbini, Nepal. His real origin is Nepal. But he walked up to a place called Buddha Gaya in modern Bihar province in India. So then only country Lord Buddha visited, in addition to where he was born in Nepal and did Buddhist practices in India, only other place visited was India, in Sri Lanka. But then the same Buddhism came to China. From China it went up to Korea, Japan, and that part of North Asia, Sri Lanka on to South Asia. Even at that time it has gone up to Afghanistan, present day Pakistan, even some of the Central Asian countries.
传承中华传统文化，共赏佛教艺术精华。扫描左侧二维码，关注中华佛文化网官方微信。